What?
Did you put a lights on?
You're the Puerto Rican. The priest, did you're the Puerto Rican?
Oh,
Okay, listen, Diane's got a joke.
1 sec.
Can I keep this recording on?
Yeah, you can.
No P&D bid.
Sorry, babe. You're winning
guy walking
out.
down a country road. And
Tender.
goes around the bend, he sees a big castle building. So he walks in, he finds out
7.
the castle's occupied by priests who were sworn to a
Silence.
Val.
Oysters.
vow of silence. So after thinking it over, he decided to join them. He was there for 10 years, and he goes up to the abbey, and he says to the abbey, food's cold. Another 10 years went by. He went upstairs to the abbey again, he said, bed's hard. A third 10-year period elapses. He again goes up to the abbey. He says, I quit. The abbey says, I'm not surprised. You've been bitching ever since you
That's always a good one, Dad. I've heard that a couple of times from you. It's still
Did you
funny.
hear the one about the woman who's having a,
Oh, this is a good one. He's only got 4, don't worry. Oh, this is a good one. Roll. He's on a roll.
a woman who's having
Thank
a
you.
out-of-mind dream, and she having an operation, and she sees the God, and she says, Lord, am I going to survive this operation? And God says, don't worry, you've got 40 years, 2 months, and 10 days to live. So she goes back to her room after the operation. After a couple of days, she said, as long as I'm here, there's a few things I like to have done. So she has a tummy tuck, breast enlargement, facelift. She doesn't have her hair done. Well, she goes back to her room, and after about a week, she's all healed up. She goes down to the front entrance, walks across the street to get her car. An ambulance hits her, kills her immediately. She gets up to heaven. She says to God, God, you told me I had 40 years to live. He says, I didn't recognize you.
Okay, Dad, tell about the guy who's going to heaven. The other
The
one.
3 guys who went there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the best.
You have the therapist told me this one. There were 3 men living in the neighborhood, all good friends. And the first guy died. And he got up to heaven, he saw St. Peter. St. Peter says, we have one rule here, depending upon how you answer my question. He says, have you been faithful to your wife? The guy says, well, I was for about 6 months, but I haven't been for years. St. Peter said, well, we have a way of getting around up here. Here's the vehicle you're supposed to use. It's a beat-up 1948 Volkswagen. Well, then about a week later, the second guy dies. He goes up to heaven, and St. Peter tells him the same thing. And he says, have you been faithful to your wife? And he said, well, I have been for quite a few years, but I haven't been lately. So St. Peter says, well, here's what you get around with up here. It's a 1968 Buick. Well, the third guy goes to heaven. St. Peter says the same thing to him. And he said, have you been faithful to your wife? And the guy says to St. Peter, absolutely, all my life, right until the day I died. So St. Peter says, here's the keys to a Rolls Royce, brand new. That's how you get around. Well, after a week or so, this last guy who had the Rolls Royce pull off to the side of the road, and he parks his car there, and he sees the Buick coming down the road with the two guys in it. So they pulled up and they said to him, "What's the matter? You having car trouble?" And he says, "No, it's
crying.
not that at all."
He was crying.
Huh?
He was crying.
Yeah, he's crying. He says, "It's not that at all." He says, "You see the highway you just pulled off?" And the two guys said, "Yeah." He says, "I just saw my wife go by on roller skates."
That's a good one.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. That's it for your repertoire?
I don't think I can remember anymore.
That's pretty
Those are
good.
good ones, Deb.
Huh?
Those are good ones.
Those are good ones.
And your therapist told you this one.
She told me that.
She was hot stuff.